I always hated those videos where they don't get straight to the point, so my first game, called Regrowth, a small puzzle game, after all the taxes, in its first month, made $720. Now let's dive deeper so I can share what I've learned, what mistakes I've made, increasing your chances with selling your game. But first, check out the game's Steam page and wishlist it, or join our Discord community, links down below. And if you'd like to see more game development content, subscribe and hit the bell. So you may ask, is this good, was it worth it, and is localizing a game into 23 languages too much? Well, I will draw some conclusions, but let's see some numbers first. On the first day it sold 51 copies and made $420. And by the end of the first launch discount week, it made $1,185 with 152 total copies sold. After this, sales a bit slowed down, but I expected that most people usually buy a game only if it's on sale. So by the end of the 1 month period, Regrowth sold 179 units, grossing in $1,420. So as you can see, most of the sales, 83% of it, was made during the launch discount. After taxes, refunds and Steam's cut, from the $1,420, only around $720 remains, so around half of the revenue. And I'm still lucky because I'm working as a contractor due to my day job. Otherwise I would lose another 15 or 20% from that $720. Regrowth is sold for $10 with Steam's recommended regional prices applied and had a week-long 10% launch discount. Originally I wanted to sell it a bit cheaper, but lots of articles told me that it's better to have a bit higher price, because most sales will come when people see that it's, for example, 50% cheaper. And most times developers also underestimate their game's value. This may have affected the launch sales a bit negatively, but hopefully it will have long-term benefits. As I said, I applied Steam's regional prices, which is a must-have because if I would sell it, for example, $10 in South America, these regional sale numbers would be even worse. So as you can see, due to the regional prices, the lower income countries contribute much less to the revenue than to the units. But most likely, if I wouldn't have trusted Steam on this, sold units would be much lower in these regions due to being too expensive. But as I said, Regrowth got localized into 23 languages thanks to some 45 helpful lads who translated and proofread my game. I don't know how many people bought the game due to their native language being supported, but surely it's a big plus in a lot of people's eyes. But while having this many localizations increased the workload by a lot, most of the languages were rarely used. So maybe I shouldn't have accepted this many offers. So you should find your own optimal supported languages, which differs from game to game. I think this will need its separate video, so stay tuned and subscribe if you don't want to miss it. 85% of the units were sold on Windows, 10% on Mac and 5% on Linux. So guys, if you're using Unity, most likely it just takes like somewhere between one click and a few hours of work, so please, for your own good, please publish your game on multiple platforms, because it's really worth it. The refund rate was around 6-7% at first, then it stabilized around 10%, which is standard as I heard. But after the launch discount, the refund rate slowly increased to 18%, which is kind of bad. Most likely it's due to issues regarding difficulty, which sadly still persists after countless balancing, so now I think that mostly people are just misled by the cute graphics. Now let's see the wishlists. During the 10 months it's been on Steam, I've been marketing through social media constantly, but it wasn't that effective. I've got a trending Reddit post, but I could have been better with conversion. There was a spike when I released its demo during the Steam Autumn Festival, and also a lucky spike due to a streamer. 2 weeks before release I constantly posted giveaways on Steam Gifts, which turned out well. I also did a bigger one after release, but I think by then I drained most of the interested users already, so it didn't have that big of an effect. At release it had around 850 wishlists. On the first 2 days, wishlists skyrocketed by nearly 50%. By the end of the release week it reached 1300, and by the end of the 1 month period, around 1440. I thought that it will be a bit bigger based on some other game devs videos, but well, that's it. Then the game was already on the 3rd and 4th page of new releases due to the high amount of new games every day, so wishlist ads decreased significantly. And this is why you can't rely your marketing solely on Steam. I contacted streamers, YouTubers, Return Pass, and even got featured in some national gaming magazines, because there aren't many Hungarian releases on the market. I used Keymailer and other similar services, but it wasn't really effective. All this stuff may need a separate video because I think lots of you would be pretty interested in it, so stay tuned. But anyway, on the launch week it was still around 30 per day, because it was on sale, it was a new release, and I also promoted at some smaller sites. After the launch week, daily wishlist decreased to around 7, which was still pretty neat for me. And after the month-long visibility boost that Steam gives to new releases, it went back to normal, I mean, as it was before release, without any kind of promotion. But now let's talk about whether it was worth it or not. As a first release I didn't expect much, but I had some pessimistic and also some optimistic phases as well. Now I think that it's in the middle, it's okay. Hopefully my long-term plan will succeed and the sales will go well for the next 2 years at least. Good enough for a first game, but my next one will be better designed and better managed. And on my next game I will be more efficient, because I gained a lot of new experience from the past 1 year of working on Regrowth. I've also met new friends and gained new followers, which are nice to have as well. But of course, if I calculate the hourly income, I would have earned much more if I would have spent all these hours on my day job. But luckily, game development is still just a hobby for me, so I'm just happy that I can work on my games. But I'm hopeful that I'll be able to spend less and less time on my day job and more on my games. By the way, development hasn't ended with release, of course. In the first weeks, updates were going out every second day, and then I spent around 2 months on the first major patch, the level editor. And I'm also thinking about some follow-up games based on this one's framework. For example, let's say a level-based puzzle platformer like Braid. This way I could save a lot of time. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, it means a lot to me, and see you next time.